our 0 day. It's July 16th, and we stopped at an outdoor store. I needed to get my pole tips replaced, and this is where we did it. Very nice people. So now we need to go find a laundromat. We already had our breakfast. July 16th, Friday. Gotta do our laundry. Are you ready?
Should we do normal wash
I would do normal.
and warm?
The whole bag of quarters ready to go. Look at this. Pollyanna ever prepared. This is the Hostel of Maine. We are setting up our shuttle drop off. This is where we're going to end up on Monday. So I'm not sure if they want me parked here. Anyway, we'll go in and find out. I love wood. Nice big porch. This is nice.
We're doing a pasta dinner for
Do you want your dinner?
We ended up having dinner here. Donation based and spaghetti, so we're good salad and spaghetti. So we're at the Hostel of Maine, and Pollyanna actually ran into you guys yesterday, I believe,
Yes,
right?
at the parking lot.
So I caught Sergeant Sergeant Sunrise Rainbow because of your hair is what I'm thinking. Sorry about that. Sergeant Sunrise.
And Jackrabbit's what we used to call her.
Jackrabbit.
I never had even heard of the Appalachian Trail until my son was in the 8th grade and I was on a field trip and I saw a sign driving in Pennsylvania. So I went home, looked it up, see when it was. I like to do that because I've always liked to be in the woods. And then I had a 50-state marathon quest. She was with me. She was with me for that. And my last one in Missoula, Montana, she said, if you would do that in section, I plan to start through hiking it the next year. And she said, if you would do that in sections, I might be interested in doing it with you. She said, why does everything have to be a marathon for you? Why you gotta go? You know? That's not. I just didn't know anybody would want to come with me, so that's why she came with me. And in the meantime, my little brother died, and I just thought I don't want to be going for my husband for that long.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
So that was back in
October 2012. She's a big logistics
So I
person.
love the logistics. I will actually write out the entire, I will copy it from AWOL. We had the AWOL. We didn't have Guthook back then.
Yeah.
The olden days.
We still use AWOL.
Yeah, I still use AWOL.
Yeah.
And so I would write the whole trail. And then so we went on our first hike. I said to her, I've been reading about Georgia, Katahdin. Those are the big mountains. But you know, the middle's a little more subdued.
Yeah.
Why don't we start in the middle instead of going someplace that everybody goes 2 weeks and says, I can't do it and leaves?
Yeah.
I said, I want to succeed. I've never been in a backpacking, staying out in the woods. I love the woods, but so we started the middle, the psychological middle, which is Harper's Ferry.
Yep.
And did Maryland. So we did
We got one
state.
state done.
In a week. The weather was perfect. It was wonderful. We loved it. And so we were very excited, and we're going to do it in sections. And in December of 2012, I was diagnosed with cancer. And so I had to start radiation chemo December 31st. And so I went through that through February 14th was my last radiation treatment. Spent the next months falling in love with Downton Abbey because I had to stay in a recliner. I couldn't walk because I had radiation on my bottom parts. And so they were very sore. But I told my radiologist, I said, I've got to get back on the trail this spring, so I got to get all better. And we did our first 55-mile hike after that in May over my birthday, which is when she gave me this AT necklace that I'm wearing every day while she's hiking. And we did the roller coaster section in Virginia. And so we were hiking ever since then.
Yep.
Until I completed my 1,400 miles and then said that's enough. I had to take off 3 years because I take care of my dad, and I just don't have the stamina to do these big giant mountains. But I'm here because I want to be with her to finish.
So you're giving her some support
Yeah,
along
They've
the way,
been
some
shoving
slack
me,
backing,
it's
and
nice. Since I have to hike all day by myself, it's nice to have somebody I know texts me at night. So
I know, that's what I love.
yeah.
So my friend Terry is helping me right now in that regard, and Pollyanna is hiking with me partial days, and then tomorrow we hike all together. So we're
cool.
doing good.
You're blessed to have somebody, a family.
Yeah. So
How do you two know each other?
I moved to the town where she moved away from last year. We
Well,
actually
I hadn't moved away yet when she
we moved down there, and we had booths beside each other at the fair. They had a used car
dealership.
a car business where it originally started getting cars for missionaries when they came home from furlough, and then they just kind of built. But my husband started taxidermy, so we were right beside each other. I went to get a cup of coffee or something, and we just hit it off. So now they sold their business and they moved away, so they live a couple hours away from us.
They go to Florida for the whole winter, so they weren't there anyway. So, but yeah, she had been praying for her best friend for about a year, and when we met at the fair, we just kind of clicked right off, and from that point on. And then I came over to visit her one Saturday shortly after that, and found out about all her marathoning. She had about 17 more states to finish all 50 states, and I was like, I can't.
I tried to turn her into a runner. She did a 5K with me, two 5Ks.
Did 2 5Ks and 1 10.
In Pocatello, Idaho, and where were the other ones?
I used to live in Pocatello.
Little Grand Canyon, Utah.
Yeah. And anyway,
she
ran the first one. The second one, she just talked Spanish with somebody the whole way.
I found a guy who only spoke Spanish, and I said, "I'll walk with you." So we walked the 10K and talked Spanish with them.
Yeah. So anyway.
So you've ran in every.
Actually, I've ran in every state. I've done 60 marathons.
She did 60 by her 60th birthday.
Like full 26-mile marathons.
Full marathon.
Or 50Ks. Yeah.
Wow.
See, I'm
my
very
mouth
goal
is-
driven. That's why I'm trying to finish this, because it's my goal to hike the whole thing. So I want to finish it.
All right, and the sections you have left then?
Just from here north,
Okay, all the way to Katahdin.
230 something miles. 230 now, 233.
And your section that you like the best,
Roan Mountain in Tennessee or North Carolina.
and the least.
Just the whites, the Wildcats
Uh,
coming up out of Pinkham Notch,
Steep.
what's the name of that one? By Mariah.
Yeah, I know.
Carter.
Yeah.
Those are so technical,
Yes, they are.
dangerous.
Yeah.
That's not hiking. So much of that is not hiking. I don't mind climbing steep rocks and working hard, but it's not hiking when you don't have anywhere to hold on to. I mean, you stand at a rock face and you stand there for 5 minutes and going, seriously, I see the blaze up there. How am I supposed to get up there? It's a straight wall with a toe hold as high as my head, and I don't know how I'm supposed to get up this wall. It's raining, and you're by yourself.
Raining and the wildcats do not mix.
No, and that's where I was. It was terrible. It was terrible. And then the first day I got on this year, 94 degrees, I drank a gallon of water. I was dehydrated and getting cramps in my legs 2.5 miles from where I was camping. I'd step up on a rock and get a cramp. You try to put your weight on a leg that has a cramp in it. I thought, I'm going to die out here because I can't walk. It was terrible. Some guy, they're amazing. He gave me electrolytes, and we were at the fire warden's cabin, and I was praying that they would have bunks, and there was one bench, and he saw me struggling to get up off the floor, and he said, "You can have the bench."
Aww.
So he gave me the bench. He gave me food. He gave me electrolytes. It was a bad day, and I got a blister. And I knew I was getting a blister, but I couldn't stop because it's pouring rain. There was nothing way I could doctor it in the rain. It was just bad. That was I'm like, welcome back to the AT. your first kick in the teeth. So I've been nursing a blister, a bad blister. I've never had a blister on my heel ever.
Yeah. Your happiest moment on trail then?
What's that?
The happiest moment on trail?
Every day when I get off.
That is funny. But true sometimes,
Well, I
right?
used to say that my hiking is like, so what's the hiking like? So it's a love affair. I love getting ready. I love driving there and getting there. I love getting on the trail. I love getting off the trail. I love going home, and I love waiting for it again. It's a love affair every step of the way.
There's a quote in that book of Walking the Woods where he says, basically I hate the trees, but I love their boundlessness. I want to see the next hill and never see a hill again. I want to sleep in a tent and never sleep in a tent again. You know, all these things all the time. All when you're on the trail, it's a constant, total ambivalence. I want to be out here. I hate being out here.
Yep.
I hate being in the tent. I love my tent. I stink. You just, why is it fun? I don't know. Why do we do this? I made a goal.
Made a goal, and you were.
But
you were gonna
we've
get there.
met a lot. You guys are nice ladies. You meet a lot of nice people, and we love about it is how life is on the trail is how we should be all the time with each other. You wouldn't abandon anybody. We don't care how much money you make. We don't care what kind of car you drive. We don't care what kind of house you live in. There's no status out here. Everything is equal. And that's why I get upset. Like y'all probably got it too from the president of the AMC, and she had written this letter about how we're privileged if we can hike, and that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I'm like, you're not privileged. Your privilege is if you're healthy enough to do it, because the trail doesn't care what race you are.
Yeah.
The trail doesn't care how much money you have. I see people hike with Walmart gear, and I see people hike with expensive gear. It doesn't matter. The only privilege that you need is the desire to do it and the help to be able to do it. So it just rubbed me the wrong way. She said that.
We were
Nobody
at a
cares. Nobody
shelter
cares.
one night, and there was a group of 5 guys that hike like for 2 weeks together every year, and we never talked about what they did. We never talked about what we did, like our jobs or our income or anything. But I just had a sense that these were men of means. Nothing that they ever put on. It just that was just my own sense. But at the end of that conversation, next day we were hiking, and I said, those guys could have been a group of multi-millionaires. But when we were sitting at the table, they just wanted to ask us a ton of questions. Why do you use that gear? And how do you do this? And we just felt so like we were the professors, because they'd only just been hiking the AT a short time. Yeah. And that's what really made me think about how wonderful it is that everything else goes to the side, and we just want to learn from each other. And we just want to support each other. And we just want to see each other succeed. That's what life should be.
Yeah.
All the time.
And I tell you, we've had some, like I gave her that for her birthday. We've been out here a lot on her birthday, and I found out I was going to be a grandmother the first time I was on the trail. My son called on a Mother's Day. We had, how we call it, they call this the Green Tunnel.
Yeah.
And we're both women of faith. And so we came out of the woods into this beautiful view, and we started to cry. And so we just sit down there and we're having this little worship service, singing that song about the Purple Mountain,
Oh yes, that day it was Mother's Day. Yes,
Mother's Day, and that's when I found out.
Part off where you couldn't see anything, but then there was this break, and then we realized we were on the side of this mountain that went down the valley and up. In fact, it's still my Facebook page picture, because it just
beautiful.
made you want to
just break out and
celebrate
worship because of where you
glory
are.
of the nature that's before us.
I think my favorite was the Rays of Light. I have this one. Yes. Every time I think of it, it just brings back. I mean, visually, it's just amazing, and then just the emotions and everything that comes with it when I think about it or see it
through the woods. In the woods, the rays. Yes.
And the mist.
And because you see things if you get good weather that you won't see if you don't hike up here. You've got to walk up here and do the work to see it, to break out and see those views. But you do spend a lot of time just walking in the green canopy over here. We call it the Rhodey Tunnel down in North Carolina. You're always walking in these big rhododendrons. Yeah. But I mean, it's just those kind of things.
And isn't it something? I mean, I'd like to be aware of this, like even sitting up there at the height of the land, which is where I was this morning after I dropped her off, and watching that, and it was so quiet and so still, and the majesty of all that. But to realize that it's just, and even when you're in the woods and you see all the time, like I'll see a path and there's an ant running across, and I think, I'm in your world, and it makes me sad. I mean, I'm not weird about it, but it makes me sad. I try not to step on any of them, because this is your world, and it goes on 365 days a year. If nobody ever hiked again, this world goes on, and that's being aware that you've kind of entered this world that's not ours, like our homes and our cars and our drives and all those places that are kind of ours, but this isn't ours. We're just passing through.
Yep.
And one day
that presence is so powerful.
Remember that time we were sitting there and we thought the butterfly was dying, but it was a monarch butterfly that was just coming out.
Just drying
wings and stuff.
He was vibrating, and I didn't know that that's how they dry their wings. We thought he was like about to die.
Injured or something.
There it went. Well, I appreciate you guys letting me get a sense of who you are and a little bit of your story.
It's so
So
precious
everybody
of you
has
to say
such
that.
different stories, and yet it's the community that brings it all together. So
Yep.
Absolutely.
thank you very much.
You're welcome.